Shalom. This is an emergency broadcast alert, giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakadash, in whom we are in great debt. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who were well, continue doing so, standing firm in the eyes of terror, who I learned this truth from. To the elders, the bishops, Akim and Aquab, salutations and blessings to the house of David. We are the hopeful elect. This is your brother Quasiar with another quick video, and I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I've been following this individual and the case, and I've been listening to the accounts of witnesses and whatnot, and there's been a particular witness that I had made a video and I took it down because I wanted to include it with this one. And the fact is that the woman says that she has a record and she doesn't want to come forth because they might implicate her somehow. And you can, well, what she says is that they ain't going to believe her in her text. But we know that what she really means is that she don't want to get caught, because this is how Esau Edom, so-called white man, works. He asks you to come forth and be a witness or participate somehow, and if he sees somehow that he can implicate you and he can draw you in, that his conclusion will be satisfied enough, or that he should be satisfied enough that his case or his manipulation could be seen as truth. He will do so. And so new evidence has come out, and I'm going to place the name of the video, that way you can look it up for yourself on the description box. And I am going to show you that we know how Esau Edom works, but physically seeing it this way, although we know the hopeful elect brothers are covered by Yahweh Bashin Yahushai, but if you use your mind also, you avoid a whole lot of things, that can even, you could even prevent from, even because sometimes, you're not going to be able to prevent them because the Lord has it that you must go through these things. But at least you can be aware of what's coming because you know the enemy's tactics or the behavior of the enemy. There's something that the military does, and one thing that they do is prepare, and they know how to use the enemy's weapons, just in case if they run out of their weapons or they lose their weapons, they can also use the enemy's weapons because they know what the enemy are using. And that's just a just for lack of better words, I'm just showing you that there's things that is good to know. Okay, so let's listen to this real quick. So it might be like 15-20 minutes.
Right there. I want to slow it down. I'm going to back it up a little bit. Right there. Watch this. Do you see that man running right there? That man actually has jeans on. And you see him coming from an unmarked car. That car right there is not one of the police cars that she showed you in the beginning. See, you remember, this is the picture that she had showed us in the beginning. And she's at the board. I'm going to play you when she's at the board saying that these are the two police officers that came and blocked those young men in.
All right, so I don't think he says it, but there was a call. This is what they're saying. There was a call from detectives that heard the call of these individuals has stolen the car. Later on, it turns out that the car was not stolen. It was a rent. It was a repo. Salakia. It was a repo, and they couldn't find the car, and they called police to find the car, or should I say, that they can take the car from the individuals because the repo man cannot take the car when someone is sitting on the car because they have reported that the guy had a gun. So this is when it gets ugly because the repo man calls police and they say we can't take the car because the guys in the car have guns. This has happened before. A man comes out of his house with a gun. The guy that's gonna take the car can't take the car, and he leaves. He calls police, and then he comes back, and then next thing you know, he's trying to take in the car again, and the guy with the gun comes out. Police is hiding behind the bushes. Bang, bang, bang. But this, well.
But here you see
he's got a gun. He's got
this
a gun.
officer.
On your right. He's got a gun.
That officer right there, he actually has on jeans.
All right, with that right there, what just happened, right? You remember the cars, right? The guy was parked already, waiting for the uniformed police officers to arrive to block the car. When the uniformed police officers arrived, that they blocked the car, those guys that were sleeping in the car woke up from the little bump and ran out the car. So they running out the car a little shooken. They was not expecting that there would be someone behind those dumpsters waiting for them to run out of the other side.
Right, and I'm going to show you his body cam footage, which shows him getting out the car. But let's continue to watch the video because I'm going to show it a lot. You see that guy? He has on jeans. That is not a regular Cincinnati police uniform. So that proves that this lady is lying about which one of the officers shot Ryan Hinton. Therefore, they are not releasing the name. If they're lying about this, then they are lying about a lot of stuff.
Now, I'm not going to show you this video in entirety because there's other clips I want to show you. And hold on a second. This is Luke 12, verse 2. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hidden, or should I say hid, that shall not be known. I'll read that again. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Ryan Hinton. So Mr. Hinton had 3 gunshot wounds to his body. And this is in no particular order, but there was one in the left forearm, and there was an entrance wound and an exit wound, and it was soft tissue injury only. Did not contact any bone, and just skin wounds, entrance and exit. There was a second gunshot wound in the left lateral chest, so underneath the axilla, meaning the armpit, and that one did traverse the chest, and it did traverse through the left ventricle, and it exited the chest near the sternum. We believe that is the lethal wound. There was a third, basically just beneath the skin wound, and it was in the right posterolateral chest, adjacent to the shoulder, and it was soft tissue only. It traveled beneath the skin and ended just beneath the skull, and we were able to retrieve that bullet. So Mr. Hinton's cause of death is a gunshot wound to the torso. Left lateral chest, we believe, was the lethal wound. And his manner of death is homicide.
Now, with that conclusion, I think he got shot in the back, the way she explained it. But Esau manipulates and wants to deny, or should I say, hide evidence when it comes to clearing him or his people from the public eye that he should be guilty. But the Lord has other ways of bringing him down. Because, like I said, in Psalms 83, verse 2, it says, for lo, Salakia, that's a different one. That's different. I'm sorry, Salakia, because that's also coming. That's another one that is coming. Give me 1 second. Luke 12 and 2, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. Mark 4 and 22, for there is nothing hid which shall not be manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should be revealed. You cannot hide between words.
So I wanted to make sure you got the exact facts from us and relay that to the public. And again, there are no words to express our grief and our sorrow to the family members. And we hope that this provides some solace to know the actual facts.
You ready to take questions?
I'm ready to take questions, but they're going to be limited to our portion of the investigation.
So can you talk about that, the bullet wound that killed him? Did that go through his arm and then enter his chest? Is that one bullet?
There is a possibility that that could have been the same bullet, because when you're running, usually you've got your arms contracted in a 90-degree elbow position, and you're running back and forth like this. So it's possible that the same bullet traversed the left forearm and into the left side of the chest.
If the bullet that killed him went in his side and out his sternum, which is his chest, does that mean he was shot from slightly behind?
No, it was straight from the side. This is mid-lateral side. And if you're asking why did it go toward the front, it did contact a rib on the way. So, as you know, when projectiles, and you can talk to somebody who's a physics expert or a firearms expert, when they hit something solid, they tend to deflect.
Okay, so let's see the truth. All right, this is going to be real quick. I can't play too much of it. So just pay attention to his movement so you can see what's going on.
Go. That is the officer right there executing our young brother. All right.
So the guy who shoots him is the guy who's parked by the dumpster, not the cops that are falling behind. Look, I will play. I'll let you put it this way. I'll put the video name, that way you can look up the whole video and check out this guy, because you know how YouTube does. And now I'm gonna read this. What you call it? The one in Psalms 83 and 2. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. And this is what Esau does all the time. He's looking down at you. He's constantly looking down at you like you're nothing. All right. They have taken crafty counsel, and they constantly creating laws and you know, ever since whenever, right? When they want to uh, do something to you, they already have laws implemented that, you know, even if there's an uproar, it could be justified. Look what Trump has done just recently. He made a law that you can't sue cops if they do things like this. You know, so they're already there's a number of cases out there already where cops have gone overboard and has taken the life of a Jake brother, and they're justified for it. They, you know, they get tapped in the back and they be released. They don't, they get paid, and nothing's happened. Right. This is why I said that before, that this might be the one that, you know, lights that match, but I don't know. Right, because there are a number of ones that might trigger. Maybe the whole system is gonna collapse because there are a number of things that are happening. And this is I think this is like the most hot one, the most fresh one out of all of them, because this guy has kept behind it. Right, this guy is found a lot of details that no one is talking about. And so, like, you know, the Most High must have this man, you know, his back or somehow. I don't know, he's using him regardless, right? And he's coming up with some things, man. And for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consult against thy hidden ones. And that goes back to the apostles and whatnot. But you know, the point is against thy people. That's the point. You know, and the fact that, anyways, the point is there, man. They have crafty counsel against thy people, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna add a few things and call it. I hope this was edifying. All right, so I made this video before, and this is going back to the father. So this is the part where the father goes to the precinct and find out that his son was, you know, taken out by police over some stolen car, and they had guns, and et cetera, et cetera. And, you know your son, you know more or less what your son is capable of. More or less. That's what I'm saying, more or less. But even if you're man, the kid had a good future, I mean, so-called good future. He was going to school, according to Babylon, right? He was going to school, and he was playing football and whatnot. So like the kid wasn't all that bad. Maybe the ones that were with him were really 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 bad. It was a bad influence on him and whatnot. But he's the one that got killed because they're not mentioning the other two that were with him, and they're not mentioning the fact that when the father crashed, there was someone else with him, right? And where is she? Because in reality, there was a woman driver that was with him, but she disappeared. We don't know what's going on. There's a lot of things that are covered. There's a lot of things that are being covered just to push this murder on this. They want to justify what they're doing. They want to cover everything that they're doing. So listen to this.
Brother. Now, after LaShawn made this post, the girl asked her, look, why don't you go down there and tell them what you saw? And this is her response. No love, Tila. If they aren't using cameras for evidence, they sure TF aren't going to listen to a black woman with a record. It was several of us right there that witnessed this ish. They didn't even care about the dude in the car. Me and one other lady was trying to help him. They didn't care about the black dude, only the officer.
All right, so that's the girl, and mind you, this happened right outside university, and those universities have tons of cameras all over the place. So there's plenty of evidence uh, of that crash. And with that said, I hope this was edifying, and shalom.